Hey, I'm Audra James from AudraAnikaJames.com, and today we're going to talk about GDPR compliance, the General Data Protection Regulation, and how it affects you as a home business owner. But first, I want to give you just a tiny little bit of my background. I am a home business owner myself, and I specialize in helping part-timers make money during the spare time in between their job, their commute, and their life. One of the things that people know about me is that I have a 5-hour commute, round trip. That's true. But in my day job, I'm actually in information security. It's something that I've been doing for over 10 years. I currently work at a major U.S. bank, which I only mention that because it's heavily regulated, and we have some of the strictest protections. And so it's part of my job to understand risk and information security on a daily basis. I have to know about data protection and about protecting consumers, right? It's a part of my job. I also have a fancy certification. It's called a Certified Information Systems Security Professional. And I'm going to skip over all the other drama, but just to let you know, I know just a little bit about this kind of stuff. We're not going to take a long time, but I do want to tell you that I'm not an attorney, so please seek legal advice if you need any advice, okay? So go to your friendly attorney. And I'm doing my training specifically for small business owners. So if you're in network marketing, information marketing, affiliate marketing, if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, and you have a small business, maybe you're the only employee, then this training is for you. It is not for big corporations or bigger businesses. It is not for people who have an entire information security department or an IT department, okay? We're talking about folks who actually have their small businesses and sometimes subscribe to products that help them run their business, right? And so what do I mean by that? If you manage a list, you may have Aweber, right? And you subscribe to that, or GetResponse or some other list autoresponder. You may subscribe to something that's got capture pages, right? So you can create capture pages. So you have other places and ways to connect to help you run your business. If you're in network marketing, you probably have a back office, right? And that back office takes payments, right? If you're affiliate marketer, that who you're affiliated with, that particular company that of products you sell, they probably take payments, right? So this is what I'm talking about: super small micro businesses, if you will, and how the GDPR applies to you. So don't worry, you're going to be okay, I promise. So let's talk about what is the GDPR. It is a European Union law. It applies to protect all citizens of the EU, and it applies to all businesses that actually operate inside the EU. If you're a business that operates outside of the EU, say in the United States, but you have subscribers or customers that are in the EU, it only applies to those subscribers. So if you're an American business, for example, and you have customers in America, but also in the European Union, and also in other places that are not in the European Union, say in one of the various countries of Africa, then guess what? This only applies to your subscribers who are from the EU. I hope that makes that clear. So who's in the EU? So this is a list. I'm not going to repeat the list. You can see it here. You can Google it and look it up, but these are the folks who are in the EU. And by the way, the UK is still here because Brexit technically hasn't happened yet. But so to be safe, then sorry, include the UK. Handling GDPR. So some people and some businesses will segment their population by their customers and say that they're only going to comply with the GDPR for their EU customers. That's totally okay. Some decide that they're going to do it for everybody, and that's up to you, your choice. The GDPR actually has strong protections that, say, the United States doesn't have. It has some extra protections the United States doesn't have. And so sometimes that could cause a little bit of a problem. Marketers aren't going to particularly love some of these little changes that you have to make, but to be honest with you, this is about being completely transparent in what you do, how you handle data, and giving consumers rights. And I'm a consumer. I can't say anything wrong with that. So what do you have to do? So this is the list of things you have to do. you have to name a data controller. And don't worry, I'm going to talk about what all these things are. You have to explicitly state what your consumer is signing up for. So in this particular example, for us, it would be like changing a capture page, right? Again, going to go over it. Ensure that you get explicit consent for all your current consumers that are already in the EU. So you have to figure out who those people are and get explicit consent because this applies to everybody that you already had in terms of a list already. Okay, you have to keep records of your compliance. You have to allow consumers access to their own data, delete consumers' data upon request, and document your data protection processes. Now, normally I don't train this way and I just don't read slides, but I wanted you to have these slides so that you can pause the video, you can write notes, and you can have this for your records, okay? So what is personal data? So your name, email address, phone number, or Skype number, right, IP address, your username, and your profile info, and any other data that can identify you as an individual. Now, personal data, the profile info isn't necessarily part of, say, the U.S. compliance for personal data, but it is now with this new regulation for the EU, okay? So think of anything that you have that can identify someone in particular, right? So profile info would be applicable for social media, for example, right? So that's what you have to think of, what it is you collect that identifies that individual. And honestly, there's other information that could be considered kind of personal data, but bigger companies are more likely to collect that kind of stuff, not you. So we're not going to go over all that. But there are references that I have that you can check out and look to see what else is available. So what is a data controller? All it is someone personally responsible protecting the data. So for a very small business, for someone who's got a home business, that's you. You're the data controller, okay? Now, in a big corporation, this person is a particular role in their segment, and they have certain responsibilities. And honestly, you don't have to worry about all that, okay? All you have to worry about is complying with everything that's in this training, okay, and proving that you have, and it's very easy to do and very simple to do, and just doing what you're supposed to do in the normal course of business, right? So you'll be okay. Now, I'm not going to read this, okay? I'm going to let you read this, but this is what the GDPR has as explicit consent. But long story short, what that means is very simply, you have to tell people what it is they are signing up for. When you're getting that email address, you have to tell them what it is you're doing in return. So you can't just say, I'm going to give you free training or a free PDF or access to a free video. You also have to tell them, if this is true, that you're adding them to your mailing list. So you have to tell them everything that you're going to do with their email address. You have to be explicit and unambiguous. They have to know 100%. You have to state it. You can't imply it. Okay? Simple as that. So, explicitly inform the consumer what they're signing up for, okay? I'm giving you free training and you're going to be added to my mailing list, okay? You can do this in two ways, okay? You can explicitly state it in your capture page, or you can provide a checkbox where they have to explicitly click the checkbox, okay? You cannot pre-check the checkbox, okay? That's not explicit consent. And you can't not tell a consumer that they're also signing up for your newsletter if that's what you're doing. And for a lot of marketers in the home business space, that's exactly what we do. So all we have to do is just tell people. Really, it's as simple as that. So here's some examples. This is the example of a capture page that I actually created before the GDPR, okay? Now, as you can see here, it's telling you you're going to get a 4-step formula. You're going to get some free training. And click here to get started. It's a free service, right? That's all it says. This is the new one that I created, okay? Click the red button below to get this free formula plus more tips, training, and the home business news. Now, notice that I put some text here, okay? And this is the kind of thing that you have to do to be compliant with the GDPR. By clicking the red button, you will also be signing up to join our newsletter where we send you more free training, tips to help you grow your business. You take your privacy seriously and never sell your data. That's it, okay? You could also do this, okay? This is a checkbox that shows up on the bottom. I also want to hear from you with more business building tips and strategies. I know I can unsubscribe anytime if I don't want them anymore. Okay, so this is the kind of language that you need to use. You don't absolutely have to have a checkbox. That is actually not a requirement. It is required that you do one of the two. You have to in some way say what it is you're providing them, why they're giving you your email, and what are you going to give them in return. You're signing them up for a newsletter and you're giving them that free training. In both cases, this is the same. Now, in this case, this is a capture page where I happen to know, because I work with this particular company, they're only going to show this particular part only to people who have a location that's based in the EU. Okay, that is perfectly acceptable to do. If you're creating your own capture pages, it might not be 100% possible depending on how you're creating your capture pages, what software or subscription you're using to do that. And if you can, fantastic. If you can't, do it for everyone, okay? Double opt-in. If you double opt-in with your subscribers, then this counts as explicit consent, right? Because what ends up happening is obviously they get that second email saying, we just want to make sure you know that you're signing up for my newsletter. So you need proof of this consent as well. You must provide proof that a subscriber opted in. You do this by collecting a screenshot of all your capture pages. Take the screenshot, put the date that this capture page was live, and a screenshot, and that's all you really need to do. So just kind of keep a scrapbook, right? And if you double opt in, you do that with your autoresponder, then the screenshot of that is perfect, right? And the date of which that you set that up. So how long do you have to keep all of this proof? Well, here's where it gets weird. It says for a reasonable proof of time, period of time. I don't know what that means, right? And so I'm going to suggest that you keep them for as long as you keep your tax records. And I believe that's either 7 or 10 years, but don't quote me on that. If you have questions about that, contact a lawyer. But for a long time, okay? Just keep it. They have the right to access their personal data. So consumers have the right to ask for and receive a copy of their personal data. So that's everything that you have. So the way I did it, and I did another video on this, and I will put a link in the description so you could see how to do this, is I used Google Forms, okay? It's free and can be used to keep track. So this is what the form looks like here, where I basically ask them their email address, their name, what country they reside, just because I'm curious, that's not required, and then just a little note saying, please send me a copy of my personal data. They have to say yes, click, and then that data in that form gets stored in Google Sheets, right? So it's a running spreadsheet of everybody that filled out that form. I get an email, and that way I can then go ahead and send that person that information. What do I send them? You can send them a screenshot, or you can export the data from your autoresponder. If you also have a customer relationship manager, then you can do a screenshot or export that data as well. And all you're doing is just showing them the information that you have on them. They have a right to request the data be deleted. Now, I just want you to know that this is different than unsubscribe, okay? Unsubscribe means that they just don't get your newsletter anymore. They actually can request that you actually delete them completely, okay? So again, I did another form, and I did it in Google Forms. Once you get that, you get an email, you delete their data, you send them an email confirming it, you're good to go, okay? Easy peasy, and I promise you, these forms took maybe 10 minutes to do, okay? You must document your process, okay? And you must document how you manage your personal data, and it must be available to consumers, and it does not have to be long and complicated, okay? This does not have to take long. So let me give you an example, okay? This is at the bottom of my privacy document. You have a right to request we send you a copy. Here it is, and that's a link to that form. You can read a document of our personal process here. Then you click that, and here's the process document. It's right on my website, okay? Here are the table of contents, privacy policy, how to unsubscribe, how to update your personal data, how to request a copy of personal data, how to request to delete your data. If you want to use this, you can completely copy it. Go to www.audraanikajames.com or www.confessionsofahomebizowner.com. Scroll to the bottom of my website, click on privacy policy, and at the bottom you can go to read a document of our personal data processes, and you could take this and you could copy it. What this is links to the particular section, and then the section just very simply and literally a paragraph talks about that process. I promise you this doesn't take long to do. And if you copy and paste mine, it's like that. So the other thing you have to do is you have to contact your current customers. So anybody that's already in your mailing list, you have to, and who is a member of the EU, you have to contact them so that you become compliant and they explicitly know why it is they are in your records, right? It is they're in your mailing list, right? And so because they may not have gotten they've given you explicit consent to be in your mailing list because your capture page didn't say so, right, before the GDPR, you have to get it now, okay? So if you can't segment your current subscribers by location, then there's not much I can tell you other than to contact them all. Some you can because they may have their email address as .uk, so those would be only the UK people, but not all of the European Union, right? Now, I have Aweber, and if I go into reports, if you see here, you can click on countries and you can get a list of all of your prospects by country. So you can figure out which countries are in the EU and contact only those. You send them an email, ask them to reconfirm their desire to keep their subscription. If you want, you should send them some value, some free training, some free stuff, and warm them up a little bit, and then let them to do that. And tell them if they don't receive, that confirmation, you'll have to unsubscribe them. And then what you can do is you can tag them. So in Aweber, and I don't know about every single autoresponder, but in Aweber you can tag. So what you could do is create a link that says, I want to continue my subscription, and that will give them a tag of confirmed, right? You can rename the tag anything you want, but that tag will be proof that they went ahead, clicked on the link, and they confirmed, right? And so if anybody asks you for proof, then you have that tag, and you could just keep that as a screenshot or just show them your list with the tags, and you're going to be good. So that's it. Here's some references. I told you this isn't going to be too bad. So what is it that you have to do today? I want you to update your privacy policy, document your process, copy paste mine, hello, create those 2 forms, or you could actually just have people email you. I like the forms because it helps me to keep track. So use Google Forms to do that, completely free. And update your capture pages, y'all. Just update your capture pages. Write that little note in there. You don't absolutely need a checkbox. You're okay. And then contact your current customers. That's pretty much it. Listen, if you have any questions, let me know. There's only 2 other things that I want to say before I go. Is that one thing is that they'll talk about how companies are going to be fined millions and millions of dollars if you don't comply. You're a small business. You're one person. I don't know how it is that someone in the UK or a governing body in the UK can fine you in, say, in America if that's where you are right now. And so I'm not sure how all of that works. I'm going to do a little bit of research to figure that out, but definitely talk to an attorney or, see how you can find that out if you're concerned. I'm not too concerned because not only am I complying with this, but compared to the Googles and the Facebooks of the world, I have a very small list, okay? The other thing is that even though the date is of May 25th where you have to comply, you still have a little bit of time to get your act together, okay? So you should do it. You should do it as fast as you can, but don't worry about today being not compliant if today is May 25th and going, oh my God, somebody's going to tell me that I need to pay them, $1 million or somebody's going to have a problem, right? So it's okay, calm down, but do it as soon as you can, and you're going to be good, okay? So I hope this helps. You can always contact me at audraanicajames.com. If this helped you, please share this. If you're in network marketing, for example, you have a team, please share this. People do not necessarily know how the GDPR can affect them. There's been a lot of talk about it, but some home business owners and small business owners, especially network marketing, they don't realize that it can affect them. So please share. If it helped you, I would love it if you could comment on it. If you have any questions, definitely send me those questions. I can do another video. I can contact you individually to answer any questions, and I am more than happy to help you. Well, I hope this helped, and good luck, and I hope you have a wonderful business, and definitely come back and see me on my YouTube channel or at audraanicajames.com, where I have more free training and tips to help you with all of your business, especially how to automate pieces of it when you don't have a lot of time. All right? Talk to you soon. Bye.